Hello and happy birthday to all my beautiful Geminis out there. Welcome to your tarot card reading for June 2024. It is a fantastic big month, everyone. June is huge. We have Jupiter now in Gemini. We have the sun through there. We've got Venus. We've got Mercury racing through. We're going to have the activation of Cancer later on. We've got Mars in Taurus. So there's going to be a lot of activity that goes on. It's going to be a fantastic month to really see progress, to see developments, to see and feel that true sense of hope that these manifestations, that this lifestyle that you are hoping to cultivate is actually and truly possible for you. So I think generally speaking, there are going to be a lot of really wonderful things that happen for the most part. And there's going to be this new sense of revival that kind of rushes through everything. So I think it's going to be a fantastic month. So as you're watching these tarot card readings, you are free to watch for either your sun, moon, or rising sign. However, when I do reference transits, probably the rising sign is going to be the most accurate in terms of house placement. So just keep that in mind. Another really quick little thing, I'm going to be starting to post really short dailies on YouTube. I've already been posting them on Instagram and TikTok, and I just really wanted to incorporate these on YouTube as well. 1 to 2 minute daily astrology, daily tarot card pulls. So if you really want to make sure that you hit those, please make sure to subscribe, hit the little bell so you get the notification every time those get posted. Those will probably get started June 1st. Okay, so just FYI on that. Also, the comprehensive readings, we go really, really in deep in these comprehensive readings every month. We get a whole second reading. So if you want to join for that, you are more than welcome. All the information on how to access those are going to be found on the pinned comment down below. I'll pin a comment there, and you can also find it in the description box too. So with no further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Thank you all so much. I love you. Have a great month, and I'll talk to you soon. Hello, Gemini, and welcome to your June reading. So we are very excited for June because Jupiter is now in Gemini, and we start off the month with this beautiful Jupiter-Pluto trine. Okay, so let's see what comes through. Okay, we have the peacock. So this says, let yourself stand out and be noticed. I mean, it's going to be hard not to because of Jupiter. So, I mean, I kind of just feel like Gemini is in this really, hopefully you are. I really hope that you are. It's a good moment for like just treating yourself the best way you possibly can. And when I say that, what I mean is all facets, right? Your finances, your physical health, your career, like really putting yourself in a scenario where you are going to succeed. And it may not be the most stable situation. It may have a lot of question marks and a lot of unknowns, but this is a moment for Gemini to really start to shine and to let the old things die off, right? With this Jupiter-Pluto trine, we get to transform, we get to do a nice little death rebirth moment, and to let yourself stand out and to just let yourself be confident, let yourself attract things. It doesn't have to be such a fight all the time. And I don't know if you have been fighting or denying, or if you've been kind of in a state of deprivation or something like that. But I think this is a time for Gemini to step into a chapter of abundance. Now, it may not happen like immediately just because Jupiter is in there, but I think that shift is slowly going to start to take place. And as you just simply decide, you know what, I'm going to kind of just take what's mine. I am going to show up. I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to provide my value. I'm going to say what I need to say. I'm going to voice my opinions. I'm not going to hold back. Right? When you start doing all these kinds of things, your life starts to change, and it can change quickly. It doesn't always have to, but it can. It can certainly change quickly. And I think you've deserved it, right? You went through the ringer with all the Capricorn stuff, so I think it's time for you to really just step into that spotlight and grab what's yours. So what else? What else for Gemini? We have a moon card here. We have beauty. Okay. Surrounding yourself with beautiful things, presenting yourself in a beautiful way, appreciating your own beauty of both mind, body, and spirit, and really being in that place of, seeing the good. And I know it's really easy in today's world to see a lot of the negatives, that there are a lot of things going on out there, but really what you have control over, what's in your immediate sphere of influence, I know for a fact that you can see a lot of beauty in a lot of things. And having that appreciation, being in this peacock energy, I think there's so much potential for you to raise your vibration so high and to kind of really start to manifest and to actualize a lot of things about this new identity. That's really what this Jupiter in the first house is going to help do for you, is help to reconstruct. And it's a year-long transit, so I'm not saying it's all happening in June, but it's going to really help you to reconstruct and wrap your head around who you really want to be and what kind of lifestyle you want to live, and to make those changes accordingly. So I think there's a lot of expansion that's possible as long as you grab it. Right, you have to start taking those steps and being active and embodying, right? Being the embodiment of these changes. But you absolutely can do it. And with the 3 of Cups and the 5 of Coins. Okay, I love the 2 of Wands. Because look, you don't have to have all the answers. All right, you don't have to know exactly how something is going to come to fruition. You don't know who's going to be involved. Like, you just don't have to know those things. And I don't want you to put any pressure on yourself to know those things. I think having a generalized vision is good and good enough for now, because Jupiter's going to take you on a little bit of a wild ride. And we also have some other things going on in June too. It's not just that. Obviously, we have a lot of Taurus activation with Mercury coming in. I'm sorry, with Mars coming, I don't know, I said Mercury. Mars coming into Taurus. So Mars comes into Taurus. We also have a lot of Cancerian activation with Venus and the Sun coming in later on. We also have Saturn retrograde and Neptune retrograde both happening in Pisces too. Neptune's going to be stopping at that exact 29th degree of Pisces. Okay, he's so close. And so he's going to be retrograding too at the beginning of July, but we're going to feel that at the end of June, really. Saturn retrograde on the 29th. So things are kind of starting to turn around. We're going to start entering the retrogrades. So we may not have as much clarity at the end of the month as we do going in. But again, like I say, as long as you have a generalized vision of what it is you want and what you're looking for lifestyle-wise, you can start to align yourself according to those things. Now, the 3 of Cups obviously is a really, about the people with whom you spend your time, and making sure that your social network, your friendships are of high caliber. We want to make sure that we're surrounding ourselves with positive people who lift us up and who support us in so many facets. We want to make sure that these people, we can share and be honest and truthful without the threat of backlash, without that threat of things coming back to us in a way that is harmful and diminishes our peacock energy, okay? And I'm not saying you just only have to be around people who are going to say what you want to hear. That's actually the opposite of what I mean, right? We still want to value that honesty, but really being around people that are going to help carry you to where you want to go. Because what I see on both sides of this 5 of Coins here, I see a grand vision and I see a network. And the network energy actually came out really strong last month too. So, and paying attention to those people with whom you are connected, because those can also determine how far you go in life if you choose to stay around them, right? So here I have this 5 of Coins in the center. And this is a place of lack or scarcity or ill health or things that are not necessarily going well. There may be a struggle in your life that you're really dealing with, maybe a financial or a health one specifically, maybe a relationship one where things are kind of broken, or it's just kind of not really vibing very well, or you're not communicating very well, or something like that. And that kind of thing may not align with what's going on all around you. And you may be seeing a lot of signs of things like the universe kind of is pushing me in that direction. It's pushing me to go there. It's pushing me to do this thing. It's pushing me to try that and be curious and to grow and to learn and do all this thing. And then there's this thing in your life that is kind of feeling like an anchor a little bit. But I don't know that focusing on the anchor is going to really help you, right? It's not going to focusing on the problem, focusing on the pain, focusing on the fear and the lack, that's not going to help you. This is about lifting yourself up, which means you have to look up out of the dark abyss. Okay, so this is here, but it is not here to bring you down, and it is not here to pull you away from what it is you're doing. This is here as that reminder of where you're coming from, and saying that there are things upward, all right? And saying that there are places to go from here, that this is not the end all be all, it's not final or whatever, that there's room for growth, there's room for development. And as long as you embrace and embody that, you will find it, because it does seem to be all around you. It seems like there are opportunities all around you, but you have to have your eyes open in order to see it. Okay, and I think to a degree, right, that really relates to the beauty, and that opportunities could also be referred to as something beautiful. And if you're in your peacock energy, I deserve it, right? That deserving energy, the likelihood of you seeing the opportunities and being willing to grab it when it's in front of you are even going to be that much higher. Okay, so all of this works together. This can be really hard to contend with. I'm not going to minimalize or trivialize the Five of Coins, because it is hard when you have a financial problem. You're like, well, I could do it if I just had the money to do it, right? Or it wouldn't be a problem if I just had it. I get it. But continually like going back to that and going back to it and back to it is not going to help you to manifest the life that you are seeking to create. So let's see what else comes out for Gemini for June 2024. Yeah, Jupiter is going to push you to move on. It is going to push you to evolve. It is going to push you to grow and learn and develop your skills as well. So I do think Gemini is going to embark upon a whole new learning excursion. Okay, so that's also something very exciting to look forward to, and using your mind in completely new kinds of ways. But man, you are clearly on the other side. You're clearly moving on. And the thing is that this Eight of Cups is also a very difficult card, because you have to leave something that is truly comfortable. You have to leave something that also feels safe and secure. But you know in your heart of hearts, and I think the King of Swords, right? This is clearly Gemini, right? All the swords here. Clearly you are in your intellectual mind here, especially with Mercury coming into Gemini. You're, of course, Mercury, Gemini rulership, right? So your mind is working really on point at this moment. And when Mercury does come into Gemini, which is what day? Hold on, I have a note here. June 3rd. So like right out of the gate, beginning of June, Jupiter, Mercury conjunction, thinking bigger, thinking more positively, thinking about possibilities, okay? Because in your intellectual mind that this moving on is a requirement, okay? I don't know that necessarily this moving on or this looking up, even, again, like looking up out of the abyss of the Five of Coins, I don't know that looking up is like a luxury, right? This is something that must be done in order for the rebirth, which the Pluto-Jupiter trine is really demanding, in order for that to happen, right? It's a requirement. You have to leave that comfort place in order for this growth to occur. And you have to leave the safety of the nest, the safety of your own mind, the safety of what you know, and you have to be willing to deconstruct. And in order to deconstruct, you must move on, right? So there is this demand, I think, and I think in your heart of hearts, you know that your soul knows it in its core, that this is what must be done. But the thing about the King of Swords is that he does have that element of determination, right? Like you are determined to grow, you are determined, and because, I hope you do have some semblance of an idea of where you want to go. Because if you have an idea of where you want to go, if you have the vision of the Two of Wands, you have that world in your hand here, right? You have the concept. Even if it's abstract, you still have the concept. So if you have the concept, you'll know, and this was similar to Taurus season as well. But I think Aries, Taurus, Gemini, these are times for us to take little steps. This is not huge leap time, okay? When we hit Leo, Virgo, Libra, and beyond, we'll get bigger. But right now, this is just about getting the ball rolling. And still in Gemini, we're still just getting the ball rolling. So as the sun comes through your sign, it may speed up. We're going to feel the speed, I think, especially with Mercury and Gemini going super fast through Gemini, but we're going to feel the speed of it all. And we're going to have the Sun-Mercury conjunction coming on. And so like Mercury is going to start speeding up beyond the sun. And so we are going to feel things speeding up. But the strategy of the King of Swords is very like, I know what I got to do. He wakes up in the morning and he knows what he's got to do. He's really on point. His mind isn't wandering in a million different directions. He's not like completely distracted all the time, right? He's got a linear path. And I see that with the Ace of Swords too, right? We've got this linear path straight toward the Two of Wands. Now, I know there's lots of question marks, so I'm kind of contradicting myself, and I'm not trying to make it confusing in that regard. But like we know to some degree where and what to put our energy into, to whom to put our energy into, which endeavors are best for us. And when we start to get sidetracked, what I like about the King of Swords is that he can reroute very quickly. So if we do get sidetracked, which Gemini season will tend to help us do that, right? When we do, we can just get back to it without it being that big of an issue. So whatever new habits you're trying to cultivate, whatever new ideas you're trying to bring to life, it's a matter of dedication and commitment, but also a little bit of rigidity, but not so much that it becomes a problem, right? You just reroute. And the thing about the King of Swords too is I really don't ever see him looking back on himself and being like, oh, that was so, there's no regret with the King of Swords. He's like, well, I made a mistake. Fine. Well, tomorrow's a new day. He's just only about tomorrow. Tomorrow's a new day. We detach from yesterday. This is an Aquarius energy technically. Rules detachment. Just be detached from yesterday. It didn't work out yesterday. You got sidetracked yesterday. Fine. Okay, well, today you can get back on track. No problem. Snap your fingers. You just do what you got to do. You get your checklist items. You learn what you got to learn. You do what you got to do. And it's not supposed to be complicated. And I don't know that it has to be complicated for Gemini right now. I think things could be very straightforward. And I don't know that if you have choices, because I'm not really seeing a lot of choices coming out here, but we're still human beings. So of course we're going to have choices. So as you have choices, I don't know that those choices are going to be heavy and big and detrimental and, oh my gosh, because because Mercury is in your sign, because Jupiter is in your sign, because you have a dream and this is in alignment with my dream. This is not in alignment with my dream. This makes me feel at peace. This doesn't make me feel at peace. This is working. This isn't working. It's hard to be in denial when I have cards like this. So when you're not in denial and you're not fighting against stuff and you're not trying to force the world to be something other than it isn't, and you can just accept the world for what it is, Ace of Swords, you're living in a kind of a reality, but that reality makes making decisions really easy. So it just feels like you can go where you want to go. And the universe is like, here's a green light all the way. Green lights all the way for Gemini, And I'm not saying you won't have obstacles, because again, that Five of Coins is still present. So there is something still to contend with, maybe internally or physically or financially or whatever. But again, focusing on the issue is not going to get you out of the hole. You have to look up. You have to look up for the solutions. You have to look forward for the solutions. I think there's, I think there are people around you that are still sour or that don't want to see you succeed. I think that's the case for some of you. With that Five of Coins. And as you are evolving, as you are growing, other people are not. Or they're choosing not to. It's too painful or whatever. I mean, the sun, the peacock energy, I do believe that there is something creative and soul driven, aligning with the ambitions of your soul that has been surfacing. What I really love about, again, the beginning archetypes, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, is that there is a purity to these archetypes. There's a purity in how they manifest. It is very childlike. There is a childlike wonderment. And a lot of people associate this sun card with the sign of Gemini. And I know technical canon tarot, it's the Lover's card, but this also has strong Gemini implications as well. Okay, so there's a purity, there's a childlike innocence that tends to come through. So we don't have a lot of this convoluted stuff going on. It's very much like, this is what my heart is saying to me, and I can't deny that. I can't get away from that. It's just, you just cannot get away. And I genuinely feel Gemini is gonna like be operating in that sense of childlike purity. And the more and more you follow that, the more you align with that, the more success you're ultimately going to have. And it doesn't feel tumultuous with that Temperance card. I mean, you don't have to do anything in extreme. You don't have to lock yourself in. You don't have to we're still developing an identity. You don't have to pin yourself down into saying, this is who I am, right? Because this is who you are is ever evolving and it's ever changing. And I think that's a part of the beauty of this beauty card that's really trying to come out too, that there is something very, miraculous about what's going on in terms of how you are blossoming and how you are blooming. And as you are thinking about your careers, you're thinking, especially, I think career is going to be a big thing for Gemini too, with the Saturn retrograde, Neptune retrograde going on. Some of you may be feeling, disconnected from work a little bit or disconnected from this path a little bit. But I don't know that it's meant for you to completely abandon you are abandoning some things, but maybe not the things that provide stability in your life. But I do know that you may be reconsidering your life path a little bit. You may be reconsidering how you go about earning money and how you go about navigating the world and how you go about using your value and your life experience and contributing to the world, right? So there could be a work, career, life path evolution happening for you as well. I love that we started the reading off with the Three of Cups and we finished with the Three of Coins, because these two balance each other out so perfectly as that message of the people with whom you surround yourself. And Jupiter is a social planet. So it is one of those planets that attracts a lot, and people is a part of that too. So, the social component coming in strong is not a surprise to me at all. And with the Three of Coins, this is about really leveraging certain relationships as much as you leverage your talents. You leverage talents, you leverage relationships, and you make changes to your lifestyle in alignment with whatever this vision is with the Two of Wands. So I do feel as though there's opportunity. Now, I'm not necessarily seeing like a job offer coming in. Okay, let's be more specific with this reading. Okay, I'm not seeing love stuff coming in. I'm not seeing, like anything really all that big in terms of new stuff. What I'm more seeing is like just the alignment that is happening. And the more alignment that happens, then that stuff is going to really start to come in for you. So making these choices now with that King of Swords, Ace of Swords in the middle of the reading, making those choices and detaching from stuff is going to create space for that stuff to come in. So if you're sitting around waiting for stuff to come in June, I'm not saying nothing will come in, because Mercury will be in Gemini and there's a lot of transactionary stuff that can happen there, but it may also just be a lot of talking. Okay. And I would just say, okay, well, if it's just talking for right now, that's okay, because it may develop as planets move through Cancer and then start to manifest as they move through Leo and Virgo, which I think are more manifestation, creation type of signs. And this is when things become more real. All right. So if it's just talking for now, please do not discount the meaning, because it may turn into something substantial later on. But I do see a lot of talking, but I also see a lot of social stuff too, and that can also be very good. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. So let's go ahead and take a look at the comprehensive reading cards. So for those of you who are new here, I'm about to pull out a whole bunch of new cards, and we are going to talk about these in the comprehensive reading, and the link for that can be found in the description box in the comment thread down below. We usually talk for another like 25 to 30 minutes, so it's like a whole separate reading, and we usually get a lot more in depth in the comprehensive. So let's take a look here at the Three of Cups. What does Gemini need to know here? Nine of Wands. Okay, I always put a warning with that Three of Cups too, and I did. Another Five of Coins. Yeah, there's someone sour. There's a relationship of some kind that you're going to need to pay attention to. Knight of Coins. Okay. And Five of Coins. The Tower. Well, that's a good sign. I'm actually happy for the Tower because it means that Tower will break. Nine of Swords. Three of Cups. Okay, so these two cards really interconnected. Something going on with your relationships. And a Page of Coins. I'm sorry, Page of Cups. Knight of Swords. Six of Coins. Ten of Swords. Page of Swords. I told you that. Eight of Cups is not easy. And then we get a Ten of Swords on top of it. Yeah, it is not easy. Beautiful High Priestess. Oh, love it. And the Hermit. There's a wisdom. There is a wisdom that comes through. The Moon. Death card. Strength. Ooh, Ace of Swords. Pretty intense. Okay, Seven of Cups. A lot of pages. Two of Cups. Beautiful. I told you relationships. Ace of Cups. Knight of Wands. There's a lot of people showing up here in this reading. The Sun. Again, beautiful. Star. Did I flip over a card? Oh, I guess not. Beautiful. The Star. Another Three of Coins. I'm going to pull out four for this one then. A Two of Wands and Justice. Excellent. Okay, so this is where we're going to pick up in the comprehensive. So again, if you want to join, you are more than welcome. All the info is down in the description box in the comment thread down below. Thank you, Gemini. I hope you have an amazing June, and I'll talk to you very soon. Take care.